Chapter 1: Foundations of Faithful Leadership. Have you ever wondered where the core principles of leadership come from? They can be found deeply rooted in the texts and teachings of the Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. While these religions have their unique traditions, they all share some foundational lessons on leadership that are valuable for anyone, no matter their faith. Imagine standing at a crossroads. On one side, you see leaders driven by power, pride, and personal gain. On the other, leaders who are humble, service-driven, and motivated by a greater good. The Abrahamic texts guide us toward the latter path, showing us that true leadership is about serving others, not just oneself. Remember the story of Abraham? He's a central figure in all three religions. Abraham was called by God to lead his family to a new land, and despite the challenges, he never wavered in his faith. From him, we learn the importance of trust. As a leader, trust is paramount, not just in a higher power, but also in your team, your mission, and even in yourself. Let's dive deeper into these scriptures. The Torah, or Old Testament for Christians, says, "He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God?" Micah 6:8. This verse doesn't just describe how we should live, it outlines the qualities of a great leader: justice, kindness, and humility. Imagine if every leader today embodied these principles. The world would surely be a different place. Now, think of Jesus from the New Testament, who taught, "Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant." Matthew 20:26. This powerful message encourages leaders to be of service. Instead of seeking power, one should aim to serve. By doing so, leadership becomes a means of bettering the lives of others. Jesus exemplified this by washing his disciples' feet, a gesture that, to this day, speaks volumes about the kind of leadership that truly makes a difference. Then there's the Quran, which holds its own gems of wisdom. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. Quran 4:135. This verse emphasizes the importance of justice and standing up for what's right, even if it's difficult. True leadership means making tough decisions, even if they're not popular or if they challenge the status quo. So, why are these scriptures, written centuries ago, still relevant to you? It's because at their core, they're about human values. They guide us in how to interact with others, how to make decisions, and how to lead with integrity. And these are timeless principles. While the contexts have changed, the challenges of leadership remain the same. You'll face doubts, external pressures, and tough choices. In these moments, it's these foundations that will guide you. By grounding yourself in principles like justice, service, humility, and trust, you not only become a better leader, but also positively influence those around you. Don't forget, though, that leadership isn't just about what you do, but also about who you are. It's a journey of personal growth, where you continuously learn and evolve. And in this journey, the teachings from the Abrahamic text can be your compass, helping you navigate through challenges and ensuring you remain on the right path. So, as you move forward, carry these lessons with you. Let them be a guiding light, illuminating your path and helping you lead with faith, integrity, and purpose. And as you do, you'll not only find success in your endeavors, but also make a meaningful difference in the lives of those you lead. Remember, in leadership, the threads of the Abrahamic teachings are golden, strong, and timeless. When woven into your leadership style, they lend it strength and shine. Embrace them and watch as your leadership journey transforms into one of purpose, passion, and profound impact. Chapter 2. The Call to Serve. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert, staring into the horizon. This isn't just any desert, but the deserts of the Middle East, where some of the greatest leaders in religious history walked. Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. What binds them together is not just the lands they roamed, but a powerful call they all answered, the call to serve. Service isn't just about doing things for others. It's a mindset, an attitude. It's about placing others before oneself. Think about it. When you serve, you put aside your needs, desires, and even your comforts for the sake of others. This is a powerful tool for any leader, as it not only wins the hearts of those you lead, but also gives a deeper meaning to your leadership. Let's start with Abraham, known as the father of nations. His life is an inspiring tale of faith, sacrifice, and yes, service. Remember the time he was willing to sacrifice his son because he believed it was God's command? Whether you read this story in the Bible or Quran, the message is clear. True service often requires immense sacrifice. For you, this might not mean literal sacrifice, but it could be about giving up your time, resources, or even certain ambitions to benefit those you're leading. Now, consider Moses. Raised as a prince in Egypt, he could have lived a life of luxury. Instead, he chose to serve his people, leading them out of slavery and into freedom. Moses teaches us that service might require us to forsake our comfort zones. You might have to let go of privileges or take risks. But when you do, you pave the way for greater things, not just for yourself, but for everyone you're responsible for. Then there's Jesus. His life was a testament to humility and service. He washed the feet of his disciples, a task typically reserved for the lowest of servants. What does that tell you? Even if you're in a position of authority or power, it doesn't mean you're above serving others. Jesus said, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Mark 10:45. In your leadership journey, don't forget that sometimes the best way to lead is to serve. Finally, let's take a moment to reflect on Muhammad. His life was characterized by service to both God and humanity, from caring for the poor to establishing justice. Muhammad showcased that leadership and service go hand in hand. One particular saying of his stands out. "The best of you are those who are the most beneficial to others." This reminds us that in the end, true leadership success isn't measured by personal gains, but by the positive impact you have on others. So, what does this mean for you? It means that to be a great leader, you need to heed this call to serve. Every time you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, am I serving the best interests of those I lead? Because that's where real leadership lies. Not in grand gestures or eloquent speeches, but in the everyday choices you make to serve and uplift others. As you go forward, let these stories from the Abrahamic religions inspire you. Whenever you're in doubt or face challenges, Think of Abraham's sacrifices, Moses' courage, Jesus' humility, and Muhammad's dedication. Let them be your guiding stars, reminding you of the profound power of service. In your leadership journey, there will be temptations, challenges, and shortcuts. But if you hold on to the principle of service, you'll find a compass that points you in the right direction. You'll build trust, earn respect, and most importantly, make a real difference in the lives of those you lead. Remember, leadership isn't about how high you can climb, but how many people you lift up along the way. And in that journey of upliftment, the call to serve is your most trusted ally. Embrace it and watch your leadership transform in ways you never imagined. Chapter 3. Leading Through Adversity. Lessons from Job. Picture this. You're on top of the world. Everything is going just right. And then, out of nowhere, it all crumbles. Losses pile up, and it feels like the world is against you. It's in these moments, these trials, that true leaders are forged. And if you're looking for a beacon of hope during such times, look no further than the story of Job. Job's tale is not just a story. It's a lesson in resilience, faith, and leadership during adversity. And while his story is primarily rooted in the Bible, reflections and teachings about Job can also be found in the Quran, making it a tale that transcends boundaries and resonates with believers from different Abrahamic faiths. Job was a man who had it all: wealth, family, and respect. But in a blink of an eye, he lost everything. His wealth vanished, his children were taken away, and he was afflicted with painful sores. Yet, through all these calamities, Job never lost his faith. And that's your first lesson. 1. Maintain your core. When faced with challenges, it's easy to question everything, to doubt your beliefs and values. But like Job, it's crucial to hold on to your core beliefs. It's these principles that will guide you, give you strength, and help you make the right decisions. The Bible says, "In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing." Job 1:22. Similarly, in the Quran, Job's patience is celebrated. "Indeed, we found him patient, an excellent servant. Indeed, he was one who repeatedly turned back to God." Quran 38:44. Both scriptures highlight the importance of patience and unwavering faith during trying times. 2. Seek support, but stand firm. Job's friends came to console him, but they soon began to question his integrity and faith. They believed his misfortunes were due to his sins. However, Job knew his truth. In leadership, you'll encounter critics, especially during hardships. Listen to them. Take constructive advice. But always trust your intuition and remain steadfast in your convictions. 3. Never lose hope. Even when things seemed the bleakest, Job never lost hope. He believed that after every hardship comes ease. This is echoed in the Quran. "For indeed, with hardship will be ease." Quran 94:6. Remember, no matter how dark the storm clouds, the sun will eventually shine through. As a leader, your optimism will not just lift your spirits, but will also inspire those around you. 4. Learn and grow. Adversities are tough, but they're also opportunities. Opportunities to learn, grow, and emerge stronger. Job's story is a testament to the transformative power of trials. At the end of his ordeal, Job was blessed with even more than before. This teaches us that adversities, while challenging, can lead to greater blessings, if faced with resilience and faith. 5. Empathy in leadership. Having faced hardships himself, Job could deeply empathize with others in pain. As a leader, when you face adversities, you gain a deeper understanding of challenges and struggles. This makes you more compassionate, allowing you to lead with more empathy and understanding. In your leadership journey, remember, it's not the absence of storms, but how you navigate them that defines you. Job's story teaches us that adversities are not just obstacles, but stepping stones to a more profound, more resilient, and more empathetic leadership. Every leader will face trials, but it's the lessons from these trials that shape them. Embrace the challenges, maintain your faith, seek support, but trust your convictions, never lose hope, and always strive to learn and grow. Job's story isn't just about patience and faith. It's a blueprint for leading through adversity. By following in his footsteps, you'll not only navigate challenges with grace, but also inspire those around you to do the same. Remember, the journey of leadership is not about smooth sailing, but about navigating the stormy seas with resilience, faith, and hope. And in that journey, let Job's story be your guiding star, reminding you that after every night, no matter how dark, comes the dawn. Chapter 4. The Prophetic Paradigm. Close your eyes and think of a great leader. You might envision someone who's inspiring, with clear vision, and the ability to communicate that vision effectively. Now, picture this leader against the backdrop of ancient deserts, vast seas, and bustling markets. This is the landscape of the prophets, the divine visionaries of the Abrahamic religions, who showcased exemplary leadership. These prophets weren't just spiritual guides. They were dynamic leaders, guiding entire communities and shaping civilizations. Their leadership styles offer invaluable lessons for anyone aspiring to lead, no matter the era or domain. 1. Visionary leadership. Before one can lead, they must know where they are heading. Prophets had clear visions, divinely inspired missions. Moses, for instance, wasn't just freeing his people from physical slavery in Egypt, he was guiding them towards a spiritual destiny. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Exodus 20:2. Similarly, prophets in the Quran, like Noah or Ibrahim, had clear missions, whether it was to save humanity from a flood or build a place of worship. As a leader, you need a vision, clear understanding of your mission, and the path you'll pave for others. 2. Effective communication. A leader's vision is only as powerful as their ability to communicate it. Prophets excelled at this. Take Jesus, for instance. His parables, like that of the prodigal son or the Good Samaritan, were master classes in effective communication. They conveyed profound truths in stories that resonated with everyone. The hadiths of Prophet Muhammad provide similar insights, offering wisdom in simple, relatable words. Learn from them. Craft your message in a way that speaks to the heart and is accessible to all. 3. Building trust. Leaders can't lead unless they're trusted. The prophets, in their divine roles, faced skeptics and opponents. Yet many were known for their impeccable character long before their prophethood. Muhammad was known as Al-Amin, or the trustworthy, even by those who later opposed him. And indeed, you are of a great moral character. Quran 68:4. As a leader, your character is your currency. Nurture it. Be someone who others can rely upon, even in the most challenging times. 4. Empowering others. Great leaders don't create followers, they cultivate future leaders. Moses did this with Joshua. Muhammad did it with his companions. By empowering others, they ensured the continuity of their mission. You should do the same. Identify potential, nurture it, and let those around you shine. This not only strengthens your team, but ensures the longevity of your vision. 5. Adaptability and resilience. The life of a prophet wasn't easy. They faced numerous challenges from personal attacks to community upheavals. Yet they remained resilient and adapted to changing circumstances. They didn't waver in the face of adversity. In today's ever-evolving world, adaptability is crucial. Learn from the prophets. Face challenges head-on, and always be ready to adapt, keeping your core mission in focus. 6. Service and sacrifice. Prophets served. They healed, taught, and sometimes even physically toiled alongside their followers. Their leadership was rooted in service. Jesus beautifully encapsulated this when he said, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Matthew 23:11. The same spirit of service and sacrifice is evident in Islamic teachings. As a leader, adopt this mindset. Prioritize service over authority and be ready to make sacrifices for the greater good. 7. Leading by example. Actions speak louder than words. This adage holds especially true for leaders. Prophets didn't just preach, they lived their message. Be it Abraham's unwavering faith or Muhammad's kindness and justice, their lives were reflections of their teachings. To be an effective leader, ensure your actions align with your words. Lead by example. As you embark on or continue your leadership journey, let the prophetic paradigm be your guide. They weren't just leaders of their times, but for all times. Their teachings, struggles, and triumphs offer timeless lessons in visionary leadership. Reflect on their lives, draw inspiration, and strive to embody the principles that made them exemplary leaders. By doing so, you won't just lead. You'll inspire, uplift, and leave a lasting legacy. Chapter 5. Strength in Patience. Learning from Joseph. Imagine for a moment a life filled with twists and turns, dreams that hint at a majestic future, and challenges that seem insurmountable. Now, imagine facing all these with unwavering patience. Sounds incredible, right? Welcome to the life of Joseph, a shining beacon of patience and perseverance in both the Bible and the Quran. Joseph's story isn't just a historical recounting. It's a guidebook on navigating the tumultuous waters of leadership with patience as your compass. His tale, rich in lessons and moral insights, resonates deeply for those aspiring to be great leaders. From a young age, Joseph's life was fraught with challenges. Gifted with the ability to interpret dreams, he saw visions of his family bowing to him. While this might hint at a future leadership position, the journey to that destiny was anything but smooth. Sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused and thrown into prison, Joseph's life could easily have been a tale of bitterness and revenge. Yet, it was profound patience and trust in God that transformed these challenges into stepping stones. 1. Embrace your dreams. Joseph's dreams were more than nighttime reveries. They were a glimpse into his future, a future of leadership and influence. When you have a dream, a vision for the future, embrace it. Hold it close. Then he came to his parents, saying, "O my father, I did see 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrate themselves to me." Quran 12:4. Like Joseph, trust in your vision, even when it seems distant. 2. Resist temptation. Leadership comes with a set of temptations. For Joseph, it was the advances of Potiphar's wife. He chose righteousness over momentary pleasure, displaying impeccable character, and she, in whose house he was, sought to seduce him. But he resisted her. Quran 12:23. As you climb the leadership ladder, remember to stay true to your principles, resisting temptations that might divert you from your path. 3. Transform challenges into opportunities. When Joseph was imprisoned on false charges, he didn't wallow in self-pity. Instead, he turned the prison into a place of influence, interpreting dreams and offering counsel. Every challenge you face can either be a setback or an opportunity, depending on your perspective. Choose like Joseph did. See the potential in every situation. 4. Forgive and move forward. Perhaps the most profound lesson from Joseph's story is forgiveness. When he finally confronted his brothers, he chose forgiveness over revenge. But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God?" Genesis 50:19. As a leader, you'll encounter betrayals and disappointments. Instead of harboring grudges, choose forgiveness. It frees you to focus on the future. 5. Patience yields results. After years of trials and tribulations, Joseph's patience bore fruit. He rose to a position of power in Egypt, ensuring his family's well-being during a time of famine. The Quran beautifully sums up his journey. And Allah has full power and control over his affairs, but most of men know not. Quran 12:21. Your patience, combined with hard work and faith, will eventually lead you to your destined place of leadership. 6. Trust in a higher power. Throughout his journey, Joseph's unwavering faith in God was his anchor. In the Bible, we see this trust in divine plans when he says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 50:20. When you're grounded in faith, you're not easily swayed by life's uncertainties. Joseph's life teaches us that patience isn't passive waiting, but an active endurance of challenges with faith as the foundation. In your leadership journey, let Joseph be your guide. Embrace your dreams, resist temptations, turn challenges into opportunities, forgive, and above all, be patient. Remember, true leadership isn't about how quickly you rise, but how gracefully you navigate the journey. And in this journey, let patience be your most trusted ally, turning every setback into a setup for something greater. Like Joseph, you too can transform adversities into milestones, shaping a legacy that stands the test of time. Chapter 6. Empathetic Leadership. Emulating Ruth and Mary. When you think of leadership qualities, attributes like decisiveness, vision, or authority might come to mind. However, one vital aspect often overlooked is empathy. It's the gentle power to understand and share the feelings of another. Empathy, as a cornerstone of leadership, is beautifully exemplified in the lives of two remarkable women, Ruth and Mary. Ruth and Mary might have lived in different times, faced unique challenges, and held distinct roles, but the thread of empathy weaves their stories together. Their narratives offer lessons that go beyond gender, age, or position, emphasizing the power of understanding and connection in leadership. Ruth, dedication and compassion. The tale of Ruth is a testament to unwavering loyalty and empathy. After the death of her husband, Ruth could have returned to her native Moab. Instead, she chose to stay with her bereaved mother-in-law, Naomi. Her words resonate with deep compassion and commitment. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Ruth 1:16. Imagine yourself in Ruth's shoes. She demonstrated that true leadership is about putting others before oneself, understanding their pain and walking beside them. Whether you're leading a team, a community, or just guiding a friend, embodying this empathetic approach ensures those you're leading feel valued and understood. Mary, strength and vulnerability. Mary's story, cherished in both the Bible and the Quran, portrays her as a young woman bestowed with a tremendous responsibility, the mother of Jesus. Facing societal scrutiny and the challenge of raising a prophet, her journey wasn't easy. However, her strength lay in her vulnerability and profound understanding of her divine role. Her empathy was evident when she bore the weight of her destiny with grace. The Quran beautifully captures the moment she realizes her mission. She said, "How can I have a son while no man has touched me, and I have not been unchaste?" Quran 19:20. Through her trials, Mary teaches us that leadership sometimes requires embracing vulnerabilities, understanding our purpose, and relying on a force greater than ourselves. Now, what do the stories of Ruth and Mary teach you about empathetic leadership? 1. Listen and understand. Before acting, leaders should first seek to understand. Ruth listened to Naomi's grief and fears, and Mary listened to God's command. By genuinely listening, you build bridges of understanding, making those you lead feel heard and valued. 2. Put others first. Ruth prioritized Naomi's well-being over her own. Empathetic leaders often place others' needs above theirs, ensuring the collective good. 3. Embrace vulnerability. Like Mary, acknowledge that it's okay to feel overwhelmed or uncertain. Vulnerability can be a strength, fostering trust and authentic connections. 4. Stay committed. Both Ruth and Mary displayed unwavering commitment to their paths, driven by love and understanding. In leadership, Stay committed to your team, mission, and values, even when the journey becomes tough. 5. Act with compassion. Ruth and Mary didn't just feel empathy, they acted on it. Turn your understanding into actions that benefit, support, and uplift others. Empathy is the silent force that drives effective leadership. It's what differentiates a good leader from a great one. While strategies and visions are crucial, it's the human connection that leaves a lasting impact. As you navigate the realms of leadership, let the stories of Ruth and Mary guide you. Feel with your heart, understand with your mind, and lead with compassion, ensuring your legacy is not just of success, but of profound understanding and love. Chapter 7. Decision-Making with Solomon's Wisdom. Imagine having the ability to make decisions so profound that they stand the test of time, becoming legends in their own right. That was the gift bestowed upon King Solomon. But what if you could harness even a fraction of that wisdom in your leadership journey? Well, you can. The tales of King Solomon's judgments aren't just historical anecdotes. They're a guidebook on making enlightened decisions. Solomon's reign is filled with examples of impeccable wisdom and discernment. His ability to see through complex situations, understanding the very heart of matters, is what made his leadership exemplary. You too can learn from his methods and apply them to every decision you make. The gift of discernment. One of the most celebrated stories of Solomon's wisdom is the tale of the two women who claimed to be the mother of a baby. Instead of hastily making a decision, Solomon proposed to divide the baby in two, knowing that the real mother would rather give up her claim than see her child harmed. Then the king answered and said, "Give the living child to the first woman, and by no means put him to death. She is the mother." 1 Kings 3:27. Now, while you might not face such dramatic scenarios, the essence of the story remains. Solomon's wisdom wasn't about knowing everything, but discerning the heart of the matter. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, what lies at the core of this issue? Seeking divine insight. Solomon's wisdom wasn't inherent, but was a gift from God. When given the choice, he didn't ask for riches or power, but for an understanding heart. Give your servant, therefore, an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil. 1 Kings 3:9. In your leadership journey, always remember that sometimes the best wisdom comes from seeking divine guidance. Broadening perspective. King Solomon wasn't just wise in judgments, but was a seeker of knowledge. He learned about plants, animals, and various subjects. His thirst for knowledge enhanced his wisdom. The Quran mentions, "And Solomon was David's heir. He said, 'O people, we have been taught the language of birds, and we have been given everything.' This is clearly a great favor." Quran 27:16. In your decisions, seek knowledge from varied sources. The broader your perspective, the more enlightened your choices will be. Staying humble. Despite his unparalleled wisdom, Solomon never became arrogant. He acknowledged that his wisdom was a gift and constantly expressed gratitude. The Bible captures this sentiment. "The Lord has given wisdom. From his mouth came knowledge and understanding." Proverbs 2:6. Remember, the moment arrogance clouds your judgment, even the wisest can falter. Stay grounded and recognize the source of your insights. Consultation and collaboration. Solomon wasn't a solitary decision-maker. He often consulted experts, advisors, and even creatures like ants and birds, as mentioned in the Quran. Collaborative decision-making not only offers diverse insights, but also ensures collective buy-in. So, always be open to consultation. When it's time to make a decision, put yourself in Solomon's shoes. Dive deep into the heart of the matter, seek diverse knowledge, consult, and above all, remain humble. Recognize that true wisdom is not just about making the right decisions, but understanding the essence behind them. Your leadership journey will be filled with countless decisions. Some will be easy, others complex. But if you approach each with discernment and wisdom inspired by King Solomon, not only will your choices stand the test of time, but they'll also leave an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those you lead. Let the stories of Solomon's legendary judgments be your compass, guiding you towards enlightened, wise, and heartfelt decisions. Chapter 8. Unified Vision. Lessons from the Tower of Babel. Have you ever tried building something grand only to see it crumble before your eyes? Such is the tale of the Tower of Babel. But more than a story of ambition gone awry, it's a lesson on the paramount importance of shared goals and effective communication in leadership. As you navigate your own leadership journey, understanding the underlying message of the Tower of Babel can offer valuable insights. A towering ambition. At one point in time, humanity spoke a single language and shared a collective vision. They said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of the whole earth." Genesis 11:4. This unity in purpose and speech was their strength, propelling them to attempt an ambitious feat. Similarly, when you rally your own team or community around a shared vision, the possibilities are boundless. The initial energy and drive can propel you towards tremendous achievements. The downfall of miscommunication. However, as the tale goes, their unified effort caught the attention of the divine. And the Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." Genesis 11:6 and 7. Suddenly, the once unified builders couldn't comprehend one another. The construction halted, and their shared dream lay in ruins. Miscommunication, whether divinely instigated or not, has the potential to derail even the grandest of visions. Imagine guiding a team where messages got lost, intents are misinterpreted, and instructions misunderstood. Chaos, right? Just like the builders of Babel, without clear communication, your efforts can quickly become uncoordinated and counterproductive. The core lessons for leaders. 1. Shared vision is power. The builders of Babel were united in their ambition. In your leadership role, cultivating a shared vision is crucial. When everyone understands and believes in a common goal, collective efforts amplify, pushing you closer to your objectives. 2. Clear communication is essential. No matter how strong the vision, if not communicated effectively, it can lead to confusion. Just as the people of Babel faced chaos with the onset of varied languages, your team can falter if messages aren't clear. Always ensure that instructions, feedback, and goals are articulated in a way that leaves no room for misinterpretation. 3. Recognize the risks of overambition. While ambition drives progress, unchecked ambition can lead to a downfall. The people of Babel weren't merely building a tower, they sought to challenge the divine order. As a leader, balance your ambitions with humility. Recognize when to push forward and when to step back and reevaluate. 4. Value diversity. Post-Babel, humanity was dispersed, and various languages and cultures emerged. While it led to initial chaos, it eventually gave rise to human civilization. As a leader, see diversity not as a barrier, but as an asset. Different perspectives, when channeled effectively, can lead to innovative solutions and ideas. A beacon for modern leadership. The Tower of Babel, though rooted in ancient scriptures, offers timeless leadership wisdom. Its lessons reverberate through the corridors of modern boardrooms, community gatherings, and team huddles. As you lead, let the story be a beacon, guiding you towards unified visions and clear communications. Remember, it's not just about building towers, but creating legacies that stand tall, reflecting the combined dreams and efforts of every individual you lead. So, embrace the shared goals, communicate with clarity, and lead with a balance of ambition and humility, ensuring that your leadership tower, unlike Babel, stands strong and unified. Chapter 9. Leading with Integrity. The Ethics of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. When you think of great leaders, what qualities come to mind? Likely, words such as charisma, vision, or determination pop up. But there's one essential trait that stands the test of time: integrity. If you want to be a leader who leaves a lasting legacy, it's vital to lead with honesty, integrity, and a strong moral compass. Who better to learn from than Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad? These three pivotal figures from the Abrahamic religions exemplified moral leadership in their lives. Moses, upholding principles against all odds. Imagine you're faced with the immense task of leading a whole nation, not for a term or two, but for 40 years. Moses was tasked with such a monumental responsibility. While leading the Israelites from Egyptian bondage to the Promised Land, Moses showcased unwavering integrity. When the Israelites created and worshipped the golden calf, Moses, despite his anger and disappointment, interceded on their behalf before God. But Moses sought the favor of the Lord his God. Exodus 32:11. His commitment to his people never wavered, and he chose what was right, even if it wasn't the easiest choice. Jesus, a model of selfless love and truth. Jesus' life offers countless lessons in leadership, but his commitment to truth and love stands out. He challenged the societal norms of his time, always speaking out for what was right and just. Remember the tale of Jesus stopping a mob from stoning a woman by challenging, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." John 8:7. Jesus' message was clear. Before judging others, assess your own integrity. As a leader, be aware of your own flaws and work on them, rather than focusing on the shortcomings of others. Muhammad, a beacon of honesty and fairness. Long before he became the prophet of Islam, Muhammad was known as Al-Amin, the trustworthy. This title wasn't bestowed upon him. He earned it through consistent actions of integrity. Whether in trade, family matters, or later, while leading his followers, Muhammad's honesty was unquestionable. There's a narration that during the migration to Medina, despite being persecuted, Muhammad ensured that the belongings entrusted to him by the Meccans were returned to them. This act highlights that even in adversity, a true leader's integrity remains intact. Integrity in action. 1. Walk the talk. It's one thing to preach integrity, but another to practice it. Like Moses, stand by your principles, even when faced with adversity. 2. Speak truth with love. Always be honest, but let your words be tempered with compassion, emulating Jesus' approach. 3. Build trust through consistency. Like Muhammad, let your actions consistently reflect your words. Over time, this builds an unshakable trust with those you lead. Why integrity matters. In a world where leaders often promise the sky but deliver stones, those who lead with integrity stand out. It's easy to make decisions when things are going well, but true integrity shines during challenges. When you make decisions rooted in honesty and ethical considerations, you not only earn respect but also create a ripple effect, encouraging those around you to act with integrity too. In conclusion, if you're aiming for a leadership legacy that stands the test of time, let integrity be your guiding star. Let the lives of Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad inspire you to always choose the path of honesty, fairness, and moral uprightness. For in the end, it's not about the duration of your leadership, but the depth of your integrity that leaves a lasting mark. Chapter 10. Championing Justice. Drawing inspiration from David. Imagine a leader, both warrior and poet, a king who leads his nation to unprecedented glory, yet remains grounded by faith and an ardent sense of justice. This leader is King David. His reign, documented in the Hebrew Scriptures and recognized in the Christian Bible and the Quran, offers profound lessons in leadership, especially in upholding justice. David, the king with a conscience. David, often remembered for his legendary battle with Goliath, didn't just use physical strength to lead. At the core of his leadership lay a deep-rooted commitment to justice and fairness. Recall David's encounter with the prophet Nathan after taking another man's wife and orchestrating that man's death. Nathan tells David a story of a rich man who takes a poor man's only lamb. Upon hearing it, David burns with anger, demanding justice for the poor man. Nathan then reveals, "You are that man." 2 Samuel 12:7. Rather than punishing Nathan or justifying his actions, David immediately repents, acknowledging his wrongdoing. It's a powerful moment, a king admitting his grave mistake, showing that justice isn't just about righting the wrongs of others, but recognizing and rectifying your own. Why does justice matter? 1. Trust. When you're just, people trust you. They believe in your decisions knowing they're based on fairness, not favoritism. 2. Stability. Just leadership provides a sense of security. People are more likely to cooperate and less likely to revolt when they feel they're treated fairly. 3. Legacy. Leaders come and go, but those who champion justice leave an enduring legacy, remembered and revered for generations. Guiding principles for just leadership. Equal treatment. Everyone, regardless of status or background, deserves to be treated equally. Just as David listened to Nathan, despite his royal status, you should value everyone's voice equally. Accountability. Taking responsibility, especially when it's hard, is crucial. When you mess up, own it, fix it, and grow from it, just as David did. Compassionate correction. While it's essential to correct wrongs, doing so with compassion is vital. Remember to temper justice with mercy. Consistency. Whether it's a high-stakes decision or a minor choice, approach every situation with the same commitment to fairness. David in the eyes of Abrahamic faiths. David's commitment to justice isn't just a lesson from the Hebrew Scriptures. In the Quran, David, or Dawood, is a revered prophet recognized for his wisdom and justice. He's granted the Psalms, Zabur, where many principles of justice and morality are laid out. Christian teachings also emphasize David's role as a just king, focusing on his heartfelt repentance as a model for believers. His sincere turnaround showcases that justice is not merely about external actions, but an internal moral compass. Embracing David's legacy. Today's world, with its complexities and challenges, demands just leaders more than ever. Whether you're leading a team, a company, or a community, championing justice will set you apart. So, take a leaf from David's book. Seek justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. Let fairness guide your actions, decisions, and interactions. As you champion justice inspired by King David's reign, you'll not only achieve success, but also earn respect, admiration, and loyalty. In the end, it's not just about being a leader, but being a just leader that truly counts. Chapter 11. Collaborative Leadership. Building alliances like Abraham. Imagine standing at a crossroads. Before you, the path diverges, offering two contrasting leadership styles, one of power and domination, the other of collaboration and alliance. The former might seem appealing at first, commanding respect, instilling fear. But it's the latter, the path of collaboration, that has stood the test of time. And who better to guide us down this road than Abraham, the patriarch of the Abrahamic faiths? Abraham, or Ibrahim as he's known in Islam, wasn't just a spiritual leader. He was a diplomat, a negotiator, and a bridge builder. Throughout his life, he demonstrated how collaboration is the cornerstone of effective leadership. Learning from Abraham's collaborative genius. When you think of Abraham, you might recall his unwavering faith. But look a little deeper, and you'll see a leader skilled in forming alliances and nurturing relationships. Consider his interactions with King Abimelech. After a dispute over a well, instead of escalating the situation, Abraham proposed a treaty. He gifted Abimelech sheep and oxen, forging a bond of trust. Genesis 21, 27 through 30. This wasn't just about a well. It was about building lasting peace and understanding. Similarly, the Quran speaks of Abraham's discussions with his father, an idol maker. Instead of confrontation, Abraham approached the situation with understanding, always aiming for unity even amidst disagreement. Quran 6:74. In the New Testament, Abraham is hailed as a man of faith, one who believed God's promises and collaborated with his plans, even when the path seemed uncertain. Hebrews 11:8. The power of collaborative leadership. So, why should you, as a modern leader, adopt Abraham's collaborative style? 1. Bridge building. Collaboration creates connections, both within and outside your community. When you collaborate, you're building bridges that can weather any storm. 2. Shared success. In collaboration, victories are sweeter because they're shared. Everyone has a stake in the outcome, making success more fulfilling. 3. Diverse perspectives. Collaborative leadership welcomes diverse voices, leading to innovative solutions and richer insights. Steps to embrace collaborative leadership. Listen actively. Listen more than you speak. Value the input of others, just as Abraham valued the perspectives of those around him. Seek common ground. Find shared goals or values that can serve as a foundation for collaboration. Respect and recognize contributions. Every member of a collaborative effort brings something unique to the table. Recognize and celebrate these contributions. Abraham's legacy in collaborative leadership. Across the Abrahamic faiths, Abraham stands as a beacon of unity. Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike revere him, not just for his faith, but for his ability to bring people together. If you're aiming to be a transformative leader, it's time to adopt the Abrahamic approach. Embrace collaboration, value alliances, and always seek the path of understanding and unity. In this connected world, remember, you're not leading alone. Like Abraham, build alliances, collaborate, and together move towards a brighter, unified future. Chapter 12. Sacrifice and Dedication. Insights from Isaac and Ishmael. Picture this. You're standing on the precipice of a difficult decision. It demands a sacrifice, something you hold dear. What would you give up for the greater good? What would you set aside to see your vision come to life? As you ponder these weighty questions, let the stories of Isaac and Ishmael, two central figures in the Abrahamic faiths, guide your reflection. Both Isaac, revered in the Bible, and Ishmael, honored in the Quran, embody the essence of sacrifice and dedication. Their stories are more than just tales of old. They're lessons in leadership that remain relevant today. The Tale of Two Sons. To truly grasp the magnitude of sacrifice and dedication, delve into the heart-wrenching story of Abraham's readiness to sacrifice his son. For Jews and Christians, this son is Isaac. Genesis 22, 1-18 recounts God's test of Abraham's faith, asking him to sacrifice his beloved son, Isaac. Even though tormented by the thought, Abraham was prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice. However, just in the nick of time, God provided a ram to take Isaac's place, rewarding Abraham's unwavering faith and dedication. Muslims, on the other hand, honor Ishmael as the son who Abraham was willing to sacrifice. The Quran, 37, 102-107, tells of a dream in which God commands Abraham to sacrifice his son. Like in the Bible, Abraham and his son willingly submit to God's will. But before the act is carried out, God intervenes, praising their dedication. These tales, while distinct, converge on a shared theme: the profound depth of commitment and the immense value of sacrifice. What can leaders learn? So, why does this matter to you as a leader? 1. Depth of commitment. True leadership isn't just about making decisions. It's about the depth of commitment to those decisions. How far are you willing to go to realize your vision? Just as Abraham showed, real dedication often comes with personal cost. 2. Trust in the process. Abraham's faith wasn't just in the act of sacrifice, but in trusting the process and believing in a higher purpose. In your leadership journey, there will be moments of doubt, but trust in your purpose and remain dedicated to your cause. 3. The power of sacrifice. Sacrifice isn't just about giving up something. It's about prioritizing a greater good over immediate desires. For every leader, sacrifice becomes the bridge between vision and reality. Sacrifice and dedication in action. What does sacrifice look like in today's world? It's the extra hours you put into a project, the personal comforts you forego for your team's benefit, or the risks you take to turn your dream into a reality. Dedication is the flame that keeps you going even when things get tough. As you steer your team, community, or organization, remember the tales of Isaac and Ishmael. Let their stories be a beacon, reminding you of the sacrifices made by those before you. For it's through sacrifice and unwavering dedication that visions become realities, dreams transform into tangible outcomes. In the end, leadership isn't just about direction. It's about dedication. It's about what you're willing to give up to lift others up. As you march forward, keep Isaac and Ishmael's legacy close to your heart. In their tales, find the strength to make the hard choices, to prioritize the greater good, and to lead with a heart full of dedication. Chapter 13. Transformational Leadership. Paul's Journey. Imagine, for a moment, a life where your very beliefs, the core of who you are, is turned upside down. This shift doesn't come from outside pressure, but from a profound personal experience that alters the very course of your existence. Now, as this new path unfolds, you become an agent of change, influencing countless others with your story. This isn't a modern self-help tale. It's the narrative of Apostle Paul, a paragon of transformational leadership. Paul's story isn't just a historical account from the New Testament. It's a beacon for all leaders, illustrating that transformation starts from within and has the power to reshape societies. From persecutor to proponent. Before becoming the apostle we revere, Paul was Saul of Tarsus, a zealous persecutor of early Christians. On a journey to Damascus, aiming to arrest followers of Jesus, he had a life-changing encounter. As told in Acts 9:3-6, a blinding light from heaven struck him down, and he heard Jesus' voice questioning his persecution. This event was the catalyst for Saul's conversion. Adopting the name Paul, he transformed from a fierce opponent to one of Christianity's most influential proponents. But what does Paul's dramatic shift teach you about leadership? 1. Openness to change. Even with strong convictions, be open to new perspectives. Sometimes the most unexpected experiences can offer the most profound insights. 2. The power of personal experience. Paul's transformation was rooted in his personal encounter with the divine. It's your unique experiences, perspectives, and stories that can make you a compelling leader. 3. Relentless dedication to the new path. After his conversion, Paul faced skepticism and even hostility. Yet, he remained unwavering in his mission. In leadership, once you believe in a cause, pursue it with all your heart. Transformation as a ripple effect. Paul's missionary journeys, as chronicled in Acts, weren't mere travels. They were endeavors of change, challenging existing beliefs and sowing the seeds of a new faith. His letters to various communities, like the Corinthians or Ephesians, were not just correspondence, but tools of guidance, reassurance, and leadership. Now, consider your role. How can you, as a leader, bring about change in your community or organization? Like Paul, it begins with a personal commitment. It's not enough to direct. You need to inspire, guide, and support. Bridging the old and new. While Paul's story is noted in the Bible, the essence of transformational leadership transcends religious boundaries. The Quran, for instance, speaks of numerous prophets who brought transformative messages to their people, facing adversity but remaining committed to their divine mission. So, as you steer the ship of leadership, ponder on the journey of Paul. Let his transformation remind you that change is not only possible, but can be the cornerstone of impactful leadership. Believe in the power of personal experiences and narratives. Understand that to transform others, you must first be open to transformation yourself. In the world of leadership, it isn't just about where you start, but the journey you're willing to undertake. Embrace change, inspire others with your story, and remember, true leaders don't just adapt, they transform. Chapter 14. Empowerment Through Faith. The Story of Esther. Step into a world where your identity is hidden, where revealing your truth could cost you everything. Now, imagine, in this world, a challenge arises that compels you to unveil your truth, stand up for your people, and reshape the fate of an entire nation. Sounds like the plot of an epic tale, doesn't it? But it's the story of a real-life heroine, Queen Esther. Her narrative isn't just a testament to faith, but a powerful lesson in empowerment through unwavering belief. As you journey through leadership, there will come moments that test your mettle. It's in these moments, looking to figures like Esther, that you'll find the inspiration to lead with courage and conviction. The unveiling of a hidden identity. Esther, a Jew, was chosen as the Queen of Persia, though her religious identity was kept secret. When a decree was made to annihilate all Jews in the kingdom, Esther faced a harrowing choice: to remain silent and safe, or to risk everything for her people. Fueled by her profound faith and guided by her cousin Mordecai, Esther chose to act, even if it meant revealing her true identity to the king. Now, think about your path. How often have you masked parts of yourself for safety or acceptance? Esther's courage reminds you that genuine leadership often requires showing your authentic self, even when it's daunting. The power of fasting and prayer. Before approaching the king, Esther sought strength in fasting and prayer. She didn't rely on her position or intellect alone, but grounded herself in faith. The Bible records in Esther 4:16, "Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day." I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. For you, this isn't merely about religious rituals. It's about understanding the sources of your strength, be it faith, meditation, or reflection. It's recognizing that, at times, you need to pause, recharge, and then proceed with renewed vigor. A faith that empowers others. Esther's faith wasn't self-serving. By standing up for her people, she not only saved them, but also empowered them. She demonstrated that one person, fortified by belief, can indeed make a difference. In the Quran, countless stories echo this sentiment. Prophets faced with insurmountable challenges leaned on their unyielding faith, not only to guide themselves, but to empower entire communities. Meanwhile, in the Christian New Testament, Jesus exemplifies how unwavering faith can uplift and give power to even the most marginalized. His teachings and actions continually emphasized empowerment, compassion, and justice. Bringing it all together. Esther's tale, while rooted in the Jewish tradition, speaks to a universal truth recognized in all Abrahamic religions. Faith, genuine and deep, has the power to empower, not just the self, but entire communities. As you tread your leadership journey, remember Queen Esther. Remember the strength that arises from true belief. Channel this faith, whatever form it takes for you, to empower yourself and those around you. For in empowerment, true leadership thrives. Chapter 15. Leading by Example. The Life of Jesus. Imagine a leader so profound in his teachings that even millennia later, his words continue to shape the moral compass of billions. Picture a leader who didn't just share wisdom, but lived every word, showing the way through action. This leader is Jesus, and his life is a masterclass in leading by example. Whether or not you come from a Christian background, there's much to learn from Jesus' approach to leadership. His life is a testament to the power of walking the talk. Now, why is it so essential for you as a leader to embody your teachings? Words versus actions. It's easy to preach. It's infinitely harder to act upon one's preaching. Jesus' teachings were revolutionary in his time. From love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, Matthew 5:44, to it is more blessed to give than to receive, Acts 20:35. Yet, he didn't just say these words, he lived them. He showed love to those who despised him and offered kindness in the face of cruelty. Reflect on your leadership. Do your actions mirror your words? The respect and trust you seek won't come from eloquent speeches alone. They arise when people see you live out your convictions. Serving others. Jesus said, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Matthew 23:11. In John 13:1-17, Jesus washed the feet of his disciples, an act of humility and service. By doing so, he showcased that true leadership isn't about lording power over others, but serving them. In the Islamic tradition, this sentiment is echoed. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is described in the Quran as a mercy to the worlds. Quran 21:107. He, like Jesus, emphasized humility and service. You too should understand that leadership is fundamentally about service. It's about placing the needs of others before your own. When you serve those you lead, you're not diminishing your power, you're enhancing it. Facing adversity with grace. Jesus' life wasn't without challenges. From facing temptations to experiencing betrayal by close ones, he navigated immense adversities. Yet, through it all, he remained true to his teachings. Your journey will similarly be filled with trials. During these times, recall Jesus' perseverance and grace. Take solace in the fact that enduring hardship while holding on to your principles will fortify your leadership. Inclusion and empathy. Jesus reached out to the marginalized, the downtrodden, the sinners. He taught that everyone, regardless of their past, has a place in God's kingdom. This is a lesson in inclusion and empathy, two cornerstones of effective leadership. The Torah and the Quran echo these values. Leaders are continually encouraged to treat all with fairness, regardless of their background. As you lead, strive for an inclusive approach. Value every voice, understand every perspective, and ensure that no one feels left out. Bringing it all together. Jesus' life is a compelling narrative of what it means to lead authentically. It reminds you of the profound impact you can have when you don't just share wisdom, but live it. As you move forward in your leadership journey, let Jesus' example be a beacon. Embody your teachings, serve with humility, face challenges with grace, and champion inclusion. In doing so, you won't just be a leader in title, but in heart and action. Chapter 16. Mentorship and Legacy. Elijah and Elisha. Imagine having a guiding hand, someone who can provide wisdom, advice, and understanding as you navigate through life. Now, think about being that guiding hand for someone else. This is the essence of mentorship, a bond that goes beyond mere teaching. And when we talk about mentorship, the relationship between Elijah and Elisha stands out as a shining example. There's a saying, leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. This is what mentorship is all about. By looking at the lives of these two biblical prophets, we can draw essential lessons about the significance of mentorship in leadership and the importance of leaving a lasting legacy. Walking together. In the book of Kings in the Bible, Elijah, the senior prophet, took Elisha under his wing. It wasn't a simple teacher-student relationship. Elisha, dedicated and eager, referred to Elijah as his father, a testament to the depth of their bond. 2 Kings 2:12. They journeyed together, faced challenges, and learned from one another. For you, this means understanding that mentorship isn't about a hierarchy. It's a partnership, a journey that you embark on together with your mentee. You give advice, yes, but you also learn from the fresh perspectives that your mentee brings. Passing on the mantle. One of the most symbolic moments between Elijah and Elisha was the passing of Elijah's cloak, or mantle, to Elisha. 2 Kings 2:13. This was more than just a physical handover. It signified the continuation of Elijah's prophetic mission. You too have a mantle, your wisdom, experiences, values, and vision. Are you prepared to pass it on? Mentorship ensures that your efforts, your struggles and your accomplishments live on, even after you've moved on. The double portion blessing. When Elijah asked Elisha what he wished for before he was taken away, Elisha asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. 2 Kings 2:9. He wasn't seeking personal gain, but the ability to continue Elijah's work effectively. Here's a thought for you. What do you want to impart to your mentees? It's not about material possessions, but the intangible qualities that make you the leader you are. Mentorship beyond the Bible. The importance of mentorship is a universal concept, celebrated across cultures and religions. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, served as a mentor to many. The hadiths, sayings and actions of the Prophet, are filled with instances of his guidance to younger companions, ensuring the continued spread of his teachings. And in the Jewish tradition, the relationship between Moses and Joshua is another example of mentorship. Moses nurtured Joshua, preparing him to lead the Israelites after his passing. Ensuring your legacy. Every leader's journey will, at some point, come to an end. But through mentorship, your influence doesn't have to. Think about the seeds you're planting today. By mentoring someone, you're not only shaping their future, but ensuring that your vision, values, and mission continue. Final thoughts. The story of Elijah and Elisha teaches that leadership doesn't end with individual accomplishments. True leadership thinks about the future, the next generation, and the continuation of a legacy. Mentorship is your tool to achieve this. Take a moment to reflect. Who can you mentor? Who can benefit from your experiences? And most importantly, how can you ensure that your legacy as a leader continues long after you're gone? By embracing mentorship, you're not just making a difference in one person's life, you're influencing the future, ensuring that your vision, wisdom, and values live on. And isn't that what true leadership is all about? Chapter 17. The Art of Reflection. Leadership Insights from Islamic Sufism. Imagine for a moment that leadership is like navigating a ship. The external world, with all its storms and distractions, constantly tugs at the vessel. But what if the real journey is inward? What if the true compass lies within the depths of one's soul? That's the essence of Islamic Sufism, and it offers profound insights for anyone aspiring to be a leader. Have you ever considered that the most influential leaders aren't just those who act, but those who reflect? Sufism, a mystical Islamic tradition, emphasizes introspection and spiritual reflection. And believe it or not, these concepts are not just for spiritual leaders, but for anyone who aspires to lead with depth, clarity, and authenticity. Discovering the inner self. In the heart of Sufism lies the concept of tazkiyah, or self-purification. It means cleaning one's heart from harmful traits and cultivating virtues. The Quran states, "Successful indeed is the one who purifies his whole self." Quran 91:9. Just as this verse pushes individuals to reflect and better themselves, as a leader, you must continually refine and redefine your intentions and actions. Only through self-awareness can you truly understand the impact of your leadership on others. The value of silence and reflection. Sufis often emphasize silence, not just as an absence of speech, but as a means to connect with deeper truths. Silence is seen as a space where real growth and understanding occur. In the Bible, Psalm 46:10 states, "Be still and know that I am God." This reinforces the universal value of reflection across religious traditions. In your role, how often do you pause and reflect? True leadership isn't always about speaking out. Sometimes it's about taking a step back, being still and listening, both to the world around you and to the innermost thoughts of your soul. Connecting with the divine. For the Sufi, everything revolves around the divine. They believe that by getting closer to God, they understand themselves and the world better. The Quran mentions, "Remember me, I will remember you." Quran 2:152. This act of remembrance, or dhikr, is central to Sufism. Regardless of your religious inclinations, the lesson here is universal. Anchor yourself in something greater. As a leader, grounding your actions and decisions in strong, ethical principles ensures that you're always guided by a higher purpose. Embracing humility. Sufis advocate for humility, recognizing that all achievements and talents are gifts from a higher power. The Bible, too, is filled with wisdom on humility, such as Proverbs 11:2. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. For you, this means understanding that leadership isn't about ego or self-promotion. It's about service, gratitude, and recognizing that success is a collective effort. Seeking wise company. Sufis often gather in groups, seeking knowledge and wisdom from spiritual masters. This mirrors Proverbs 13:20 in the Bible. Walk with the wise and become wise. Who do you surround yourself with? As a leader, you must ensure that you're in the company of those who uplift, challenge, and inspire you to be better. Final reflection. Leading is not just about external action, but internal reflection. By understanding and integrating the principles of Sufism, you can become a leader who is grounded, insightful, and genuinely transformative. The challenges of leadership will always be there, like the storms that batter a ship. But by delving into the depths of your soul, reflecting and anchoring yourself in profound principles, you can navigate any storm with grace and wisdom. Remember, leadership is as much an inner journey as it is an external one. By embracing the art of reflection and drawing inspiration from traditions like Sufism, you'll not only become a better leader, but also a beacon of light for all those who follow. Chapter 18. Building Community, the Early Believers. Close your eyes and imagine a world from centuries ago. A world where faith was a budding flower, its petals slowly unfurling. Now, step into this world and see how early believers from Jewish, Christian, and Islamic backgrounds laid the foundations of their communities. These pioneers didn't just gather and worship. They created systems, networks, and cultures that thrived. As you embark on this journey, you'll uncover the powerful leadership roles that fostered unity, growth, and deep connections. The Jewish community's beginnings. The early Jewish believers, escaping from the clutches of Pharaoh and Egypt, embarked on a journey towards the Promised Land. Moses, their leader, was their guiding light. The Torah tells us, Moses commanded us a law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. Deuteronomy 33:4. It wasn't just about escaping oppression, but also about establishing a new community with shared values and principles. For you, this means understanding that leadership is more than just guiding people. It's about laying down systems and practices that can withstand the test of time. Moses didn't only lead the Israelites out of Egypt, he gave them laws and commandments, a framework to build a harmonious society. The birth of the Christian community. Now, transition to the bustling streets of Jerusalem during the time of Jesus. His message of love and redemption was revolutionary, but it wasn't just his teachings that were impactful. The sense of community amongst his early followers was powerful. Acts 2:44-45 in the Bible says, "All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need." Imagine that level of unity. This is a reminder for you. Leadership isn't about individual glory. It's about fostering an environment where everyone looks out for each other, sharing and caring in unison. The rise of the Islamic Ummah. Fast forward a few centuries and the deserts of Arabia come into view. Here, Prophet Muhammad was building a new community of believers, the Ummah. The Quran mentions, "The believers are but brothers, so make settlements between your brothers." Quran 49:10. Under his leadership, warring tribes came together, forging bonds of brotherhood. For you, the lesson is crystal clear. Effective leadership breaks barriers. It unites people from different backgrounds, building a community where everyone feels valued and heard. Key takeaways for leaders like you. 1. Foundation is key. Just as Moses gave laws, ensure that your leadership provides a solid base, a framework that everyone understands and respects. 2. Foster unity. Remember the early Christians? Strive to create an environment where everyone feels like they're part of a big family, where sharing and caring are second nature. 3. Break barriers. Be like Prophet Muhammad. Embrace diversity, build bridges, and ensure that everyone feels at home in the community you lead. In essence, when you look back at early Jewish, Christian, and Islamic communities, you realize they weren't just about faith. They were about people coming together, forging connections and growing as a unit. Their leaders were the catalysts, the driving forces behind these vibrant communities. As you lead, always remember, communities aren't built on the shoulders of a single individual, but on the collective effort of all. And as a leader, your role is to be the glue, the force that binds everyone together, creating a community that thrives, supports, and flourishes. Chapter 19. Leading with Compassion. Insights from the Good Samaritan. Imagine walking down a lonely road, and there, lying on the ground, is someone in dire need of help. The world hurries by, pretending not to see. But you stop, you act, you lend a helping hand. This choice, this single act of compassion, is what true leadership embodies. It's not just about strategies, plans, or even vision. It's about the heart. And who better to exemplify this than the Good Samaritan? You've probably heard the parable from the Bible. A man is robbed, beaten, and left for dead on the side of the road. Several pass by him, offering no assistance. But then, a Samaritan, someone from a group often looked down upon, stops and takes care of the injured man, showing immense compassion and kindness. The Bible tells us, "But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him." Luke 10:33. This story is more than just a lesson in kindness. It's a leadership blueprint. Why? Because true leaders notice the unnoticed, care for the uncared for, and act when others hesitate. Compassion isn't just a feeling, it's an action. And as you lead, whether it's a group, a team, or even just one person, remember that your actions can create ripples of positive change. But wait, there's more to learn about compassion from the other Abrahamic religions, too. In Judaism, kindness and compassion aren't just encouraged, they're commanded. There's a Hebrew term, chesed, which translates into loving kindness. It's a core tenet of the faith, an embodiment of benevolence and goodwill. The Tanakh states, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, chesed, and to walk humbly with your God?" Micah 6:8. As you walk the path of leadership, make chesed a cornerstone. Do justice, love kindness, and let humility guide your steps. And then there's Islam, a faith where compassion is so vital that one of the most repeated attributes of God in the Quran is Ar-Rahman, the most compassionate. Compassion isn't just a trait, it's woven into the very fabric of the faith. The Prophet Muhammad is described in the Quran as, "And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a mercy to the worlds." Quran 21:107. If a leader like Muhammad with such vast responsibilities could be a beacon of mercy and compassion, so can you. So what does this mean for you as a leader? 1. See the unseen. In a world that's always in a hurry, take a moment. Notice those who are in need, those who are hurting, those who could use a little kindness. Just like the Good Samaritan saw the injured man, ensure you see the unseen. 2. Act, don't hesitate. Compassion without action is just a feeling. Be the one who steps up, who lends a hand, who makes a difference. Your team, your group, the people you lead, they'll follow suit, inspired by your actions. 3. Embed compassion in your leadership DNA. Make kindness a habit. Let every decision you make, every plan you chart, every vision you craft be infused with compassion. When you lead with a heart full of chesed, and in the footsteps of compassionate leaders like Muhammad, you won't just achieve goals, you'll touch lives. In conclusion, leadership isn't just about the mind, it's equally about the heart. As you pave the way forward, let the story of the Good Samaritan be your guiding star. Show compassion, show kindness, show that you care. Because when you lead with your heart, you don't just create followers, you nurture leaders, inspire dreams, and build a legacy that lasts. Chapter 20. Endurance in Leadership. A final note from the Exodus. You're on the cusp of something great. Picture it. A sprawling land, opportunities abound, and promises waiting to be fulfilled. But before you get there, there's a vast desert to cross, challenges to face, and a journey to endure. This isn't just a vision of the unknown. This was the reality for the Israelites as they made their way out of Egypt, with Moses leading them towards the Promised Land. Now, think of your leadership journey. The challenges, the uncertainties, the setbacks. But just as the Israelites had a vision, so should you. The story of the Exodus isn't just a historical account. It's a testament to the importance of endurance and long-term vision in leadership. The Bible recounts, "By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Exodus 13:21. Despite the tangible signs and guidance, the journey was filled with hardships. The Israelites grumbled, doubted, and even wished to return to Egypt. Yet the vision of the Promised Land kept them moving forward. But how does this story speak to all Abrahamic faiths? In Christianity, the Exodus serves as a symbol of spiritual freedom. The journey from slavery in Egypt to the Promised Land mirrors the journey from sin to redemption. Jesus said, "If the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." John 8:36. This freedom, however, requires faith and endurance, akin to the Israelites' journey. In Islam, the story of Moses, known as Musa, is frequently mentioned. The Quran states, "We delivered the children of Israel across the sea, and Pharaoh and his troops pursued them out of tyranny and enmity. When he was on the point of drowning, he said, 'I believe that there is no deity but him in whom the children of Israel believe, and I am one of the Muslims.'" Quran 10:90. The story underscores the virtues of patience, trust in God's plan, and the perils of arrogance. So, what lessons can you extract from this enduring story for your leadership journey? 1. Hold on to the vision. Just as the Israelites had the Promised Land as their goal, have a clear, compelling vision for where you're headed. There will be obstacles, but your vision will guide you through. 2. Patience is key. Great achievements aren't realized overnight. The Israelites' journey lasted 40 years. Your leadership journey might not be as long, but patience will be just as crucial. 3. Lean on faith. Whether it's faith in a higher power, in your team, or in yourself, let faith be your pillar of cloud by day and your pillar of fire by night. 4. Embrace the journey. Every challenge, every setback, every victory is part of the journey. Embrace them, learn from them, and remember, it's not just about reaching the destination, but about growing and evolving along the way. 5. Inspire endurance in others. As a leader, it's your role to inspire and uplift those around you. When they falter, be their pillar of strength. When they doubt, remind them of the vision. In conclusion, leadership is as much about endurance as it is about vision. The path might be strewn with challenges, but with endurance and faith, you'll reach the Promised Land of your dreams. As you close this chapter, and indeed this book, let the story of the Exodus be a beacon for your leadership journey. Remember, great leaders don't just endure, they thrive, and in doing so, they inspire others to do the same. The Promised Land awaits. Will you endure to reach it?